Hello, hello, Wild Mamas, and welcome to another episode of the Wild Mama Podcast Talks with Tiff. We are on day number 9 of the Wild Mama Mother's Day celebration for the whole month of May, and I'm just really excited to be here. I apologize that I'm a little bit sick. I think I got what my middle son had a couple weeks ago, and so I'm feeling a little congested. But you know what? We still here. We're showing up imperfectly as we are. And I feel good otherwise outside of this little congestion that I have. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. And I just want to thank everybody who's been giving me props for doing this podcast and supporting. Really just feeling the love and feeling excited. And I'm really glad that a lot more mamas are able to access the content and listen in and tune in, even when you're busy and got things going on. So really grateful that this, turning these newsletters into this podcast for this month of May is working out quite well. So I'm excited to get into today's topic for day number 9. And it's all about a desire that was expressed by a mama who was coming into my program. And she said, I want all that I do to be grounded in a fuller sense of self. So this mama really wanted to feel more whole, feel more centered, and feel more grounded in her whole self. And so I'm going to speak on that today through today's podcast. So deep down, I know that you want to feel balanced and integrated, to be whole, complete, and a confident person. For all that you do to be grounded in a fuller sense of self, aligned to your true self. But unfortunately, somewhere in your story, you were taught that being true to yourself was a threat. Showing up as you was a burden to others. That you being your full and vibrant self was too much. Raise your hand if you feel me. So you learned how to survive and cope by quieting yourself, putting on a face, putting up a front, accommodating, overextending, overserving, and feeling like you have to prove that you're a good daughter, a good mother, a good employee, a good leader, a good person, in order to be accepted and loved by others. But that kind of overgiving leads to resentment, as I'm sure you've experienced, and you feeling upset that no one sees you or gives to you as much as you give to them. Do you feel me? Does that resonate? But here's the hard reality, okay? People will treat you how you allow them to treat you, or how they see you treat you. And people will take as much as you allow them to take. And people will go as far as you let them go, okay? So in the end, if you feel like you're giving too much, or that people don't value your contributions, or that you keep having to adjust yourself in the rooms that you enter, then I'm sorry to say that's partially on you. And so you have to stop because it starts with you. So I know that it's a learned conditioning. I'm going off the cuff for a minute. I know it's a learned conditioning. I know it's a learned reaction. It's a learned way to cope. But it's still your actions that are perpetuating the cycle, right? So you might not be responsible for learning and, the initial conditioning that you got. But if you are continuing the actions that are perpetuating that conditioning and perpetuating that cycle, you are responsible for that. So this is where in our program and in Wild Mama, we learn how to take responsibility for our own actions. It doesn't mean we're taking fault for the initial or original, trauma that was created, or the treatment that we got when we were younger, or in other relationships that we've had. I'm not saying we take fault for that. What I'm saying that we need to take responsibility for, or if we're perpetuating the behaviors and the actions that keep us stuck in that cycle, okay? So that's what I mean when I say it starts with you, okay? So until you get clear on what you are or are not okay with, and be willing to communicate clearly about it, this cycle will continue. Developing a whole sense of self, allows you to develop the version of you that is not dependent on what you do or don't do for others, creating space to give to yourself. So the more you honor your own desires and needs, the less you'll need other people to validate it for you, right? The less you need people to give to give to you as much as you're giving to them. Because if you don't want to give to people, you'll stop giving to them. You hear what I'm saying, y'all? So one of the first exercises that you do when you enter into my program, the Mama Master Plan program, is something called a what I know for sure statement, right? We do what I know for sure statements. Because we too often put so much attention on what we don't know or can't figure out. But to get you stepping into your whole self, we have to tune back into what you know that you want, right? Okay, because remember the whole topic of this conversation today is wanting to be more grounded in a fuller sense of self. So how do we get into a fuller sense of self? We have to tune back in to what we know we want, okay? And we do the work to confront the fears and the blocks that you have that keep you from owning what you know you want and need, okay? So let me ask you a couple questions. What would your life be like if you felt free to show up whole, to be more balanced and integrated, to be less concerned about what other people think of you and more concerned about how you feel within yourself? Right? So when we work in my program, the things that you get to learn on how to do that in just 3 months, these are the things that you get to learn, okay? You learn how to feel more balanced and integrated, whole, and living aligned to your values in every area of your life. You learn how to have time for you, to feel confident in who you are, and to be at ease in your own skin. You know exactly how to spend your time when you wake up in the morning or have time without your kids around. You learn to live with intention and purpose every day rather than just going through the motions. And you feel lighter emotionally. You breathe a little easier and you reduce your stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. And then you have clarity around your vision, your goals, what you want, and how to actually get there. Be showing up for yourself consistently, building personal discipline and a demonstrated commitment to you, and have understanding of your needs and the courage and skills to effectively communicate and express them to yourself and the people in your life. So when you talk about wanting to have a grounded sense of self, there is work to get there. It doesn't just happen automatically. And that's why I created the Mama Master Plan program, because we need that safe space, that safe container of time to do the deep work, to come back into our own wholeness, to come back into alignment with our vision, with our values. And those are the things that help you feel like you're in a grounded sense of self. That doesn't just like you snap your fingers and then all of a sudden I'm grounded and in myself, I'm super confident. It does not happen overnight like that, right? So I created this program in order to help you come into that space and figure out what that looks like for you. So I teach you how to balance the demands of motherhood without needing to sacrifice yourself and your desire to live a meaningful life, because you'll be clear on who you are, what you want, and how to get there with confidence in your own vision of what motherhood looks like for you. And I just want to say this, right? The reason why in every podcast episode I'm talking about the program is because enrollment is open right now for the whole month of May. We're in Mother's Day, celebrating May and all of these things. And so my program is open. I don't open the program all year. I only open it twice, 3 times, maybe a year. And so this is the opportunity for mothers to come in who want to work with me. And so not every single podcast for the rest of, the year is always going to be promoting my program, but I am actively, sharing this because I know that to get the transformation that you seek, you have to do the work. And I know there's so many mamas who do want that personal transformation, and you have that desire to want to be in a grounded, more fuller sense of self. But again, you got to be willing to do the work. So I'm just sharing this as an opportunity, an option, if it's something that you want to need. And I know that some of my alumni are listening to this. And for y'all, you could just be reminded of how amazing it is when you do this work and you come back to your plan. And some of my mamas who've done my program are wanting to do it again, because you can always revisit your master plan and make it feel more aligned to where you currently are. So this program is for you if you truly want to dig deep to make a transformational change in your life by identifying and aligning yourself to your vision, your values, and your whole self. Learning how to create a master plan that reflects you and your desired lifestyle so that you can wake up every day with a sense of purpose, direction, and clarity. So, for y'all that see yourself in this program and know that you'd benefit from this deep work, I do encourage you to apply by booking a call with me. When you book your time, you're going to be prompted by some application questions that are going to help me understand you a bit more about who you are, where you are, what you want, and what's been getting in your way. So on our call, we usually get really clear on whether or not the program would be helpful to you and if you and I could really work well together. Because I don't say yes to every mama that applies, because this work does really require you to be ready and also be willing to trust me and the process. But if you are ready and you feel like that and you feel like you really benefit from this space and working with me directly and digging deep and getting real, I do want to invite you to apply. And also, we are live tonight on Zoom for day 2 of the Power of Naming Your Wild Mama Vision. So in case you didn't know, now you know, I'm doing an event. It was May 9th, 10th, and 11th. And we are talking all about our Wild Mama Vision and gathering over Zoom. So if you want to meet with me, if you want to be coached by me, if you want to be in a community with other mamas, I really encourage you to sign up. The link is in the show notes. But yeah, it's been awesome. I've been really loving connecting with all the mamas, and so it's just a beautiful experience and a great opportunity to nourish ourselves as mama, to give us our own flowers, instead of waiting for people to pamper us. We get to pamper ourselves first, make sure we're feeling good and whole, and then we get to go enjoy our families in the weekend. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode all about wanting to be in a more grounded and fuller sense of self. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you creating the space to listen and connect more deeply with yourself. And I look forward to more. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Okay, I will talk to you soon. Have a lovely, lovely day. Until then, bye.